Hi guys! Welcome to Cup of Teach. This time we're going to discuss the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem states that the sum of the squares of the legs of the right triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So let's have here the right triangle. Identify muna natin kung nasa ng legs at ang hypotenuse. So ang leg natin dito, CB, at yung CA. Ang ating hypotenuse, yung longest side, that is the hypotenuse. And then let us name yung side opposite angle A ay small letter A, opposite of angle B, small letter B, at opposite of C is small c for the hypotenuse. So sabi dito, the sum of the squares of the legs, so ibig sabihin i-square natin yung legs na A at saka yung B, of the right triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So, ibig sabihin, i-square din natin ang hypotenuse. So, that is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So, ito ang ibig sabihin ng Pythagorean Theorem. So, paano ba nga ba natin malalaman kung ang tatlong numbers na given ay side siya ng acute triangle, obtuse triangle, or right triangle? So let's have here the three conditions. The first one is, if c squared is less than to a squared plus b squared, then the numbers could be the length of the sides of an acute triangle. So let's have here the figure sa left side. Ang value ng a natin ay 5, ang b natin ay 6, at ang c natin ay 7. So let us use yung condition. C squared is less than to a squared plus b squared. Substitution. Ang C natin ay 7, ang A natin ay 5, at ang B natin ay 6. So, we will have now 7 squared is less than to 5 squared plus 6 squared. Then, simplify natin sila lahat. We will have now 49 is less than to 25 plus 36. Add natin ang 25 at 36. So, we will have now 49 is less than 61. So, ang tanong dyan, ang 49 ba ay less than sa 61? So, the answer is yes. Therefore, ang 5, 6, at 7 ay sides ng acute triangle. Let's have your second condition. If c squared is greater than to a squared plus b squared, then the numbers could be the length of the sides of an obtuse triangle. So, given ang triangle sa ating left side. For example, ang a natin ay 3, ang b natin ay 5, ang c natin ay 7. Let us use yung c squared is greater than to a squared plus b squared. So, ang c natin ay 7, ang a natin ay 3, ang b natin ay 5. So, we will have now 7 squared is greater than to 3 squared plus 5 squared. So, ang 7 squared natin ay 49, ang 3 squared natin ay 9, at ang 5 squared natin ay 25. So, we'll have now 49 is greater than to 9 plus 25. So, 9 plus 25 is 34. So, 49 is greater than 34? Yes. Therefore, yung measures na 3, 5, at 7 ay sides ng obtuse triangle. Let's have here the third condition. If c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, then the numbers could be the length of the sides of a right triangle. So, given ang figure sa left side, let's say ang a natin ay 3, ang b natin ay 4, at ang c natin ay 5. Let us use yung condition na c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. By substitution, we will have now 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared. Simplify natin sila lahat. We will have 25 is equal to 9 plus 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. Therefore, 25 is equal to 25. So, yung numbers na 3, 4, and 5 ay sides ng right triangle. Let us determine if the given lengths of the sides belong to a right triangle. Let's have your number 1. 5, 6, and 7. So, let us determine ang A, B, at saka yung C. Ang A natin, syempre yung pinakamaliit. Yung B natin yung 6 at yung pinakamahaba natin, that is the C. And then, let us use yung condition. Yung condition natin ay C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared para yan sa right triangle. So, substitution tayo. We will have now 7 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 6 squared. Simplify natin sila lahat. Ang 7 squared ay 49. Ang 5 squared is 25. Ang 6 squared ay 36. So we will have now 49 is equal to 25 plus 36. Add natin ang 25 at yung 36. 25 plus 36 ay 61. Therefore, ang 49 natin ay hindi equal or not equal to 61. So, yung 5, 6, at 7 ay hindi sides ng right triangle. Number 2. Given 5, 12, and 13. Ang A natin ay 5, ang B natin ay 12, at ang C natin ay 13. So, let us use the condition. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Substitution, we will have now 13 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. So 13 squared is 169. 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. Add natin ang 25 at yung 144. That is 169. Therefore, 169 is equal to 169. So, ang 5, 12, at 13 ay sides ng right triangle. Let's have here another example. Find the third side of the given triangle. Given ang figure natin. So, ang A natin ay 5, ang B natin ay 10, at ang C natin ay unknown. So, let us use the Pythagorean Theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Substitution. We will have now C squared is equal to 5 squared plus 10 squared. So, ang 5 squared natin ay 25 at ang 10 squared natin ay 100. So, we will have now C squared is equal to 25 plus 100. Add natin itong dalawa. So, C squared is equal to 125. And then, since ito ay naka-squared pa, so para ma-solve natin ang C, kinakailangan natin siyang i-square root, both sides. So, square root ng C squared at square root ng 125. Yung C squared, pwede na natin i-cancel ang 2 at saka yung radical. Kasi yung 2, divisible na siya sa index na 2. So, pwede na natin siya i-cancel. Pero yung 125 ay hindi perfect square. So, iisip ngayon tayo ng factors ng 125 kung saan yung isang factor niya ay perfect square. So, let's have here, C is equal to the square root of 25 times 5. So, eto na yung factors ng 125. So, yung 25 dito, yaan yung perfect square. So, pwede natin siyang kuhanan ng square root. Pero yung 5, iwanan na natin siya sa loob kasi hindi naman siya perfect square. So, ang square root ng 25 is 5. Therefore, C is equal to 5 is square root of 5. Let's have here number 2. Given natin dito ang B ay 8, ang C ay 10. So, ang unknown natin dito ay yung A. So, let us use yung Pythagorean Theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Substitution, we will have now 10 squared is equal to A squared plus 8 squared. So, simplify natin ang 10 squared at yung 8 squared. So, 10 squared is 100. And then yung 8 squared is 64. Yung 64, transpose natin dito sa tabi ng 100. So, pag nag-transpose tayo, magbabago ng sign para ma-solve natin yung A. So, we'll have now 100 minus 64 is equal to A squared. So, subtract natin itong dalawa. That is 36 equals A squared. So, since ang A dito ay naka-squared pa, so kunin natin ang square root niya para A na lang ang matira. And then, pag nag-square root tayo dito, sa left side, mag-square root din tayo. So, we will have now the square root of 36 is equal to the square root of A squared. So, yung square natin dito, pwede na natin yung i-cancel. Tsaka yung radical. Yung radical sign, kasi ang index nito ay 2, so divisible by 2, pwede na tayong mag-cancel out. Ang 36 naman ay perfect square. So, ang square root ng 36 ay 6. Therefore, ang A natin ay 6. Number 3. So, ang given dito sa number 3 ay A, which is equal to 10. At ang C natin ay 26. So, ang hahanapin natin yung B. Let us use yung Pythagorean Theorem again. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So, substitution. We will have now 26 squared is equal to 10 squared plus B squared. Yung 26 squared is 676. Yung 10 squared naman ay 100. Then yung 100 dito, transpose natin dito beside 676. So kapag nag-transpose tayo, magbabago tayo ng sign. So we will have now 676 minus 100. Kasi ito yung nilipat natin is equal to B squared. Subtract natin itong dalawa. That is 576 is equal to B squared. Then, para ma-solve natin yung B, kailangan natin itong square root para matanggal yung squared sa B. So, pag nag-square tayo dito, kinakailangan sa left side, ganun din. So, we will have now the square root of 576 is equal to the square root of B squared. So, eto yung squared, pwede na natin siyang cancelin. Tsaka yung radical. Kasi yung 2, divisible siya dito sa index nito. So, yung 576 naman ay perfect square. So, pwede din natin siyang kuhanan ng square root directly. So, 576, ang square root niyan ay 24. Ang B squared naman ay B. Therefore, ang B natin ay 24. Let's have here a sample problem. A ladder 25 feet long leans against the building. If this foot is 10 feet from the building, how high does it reach the building? So, ito yung ating illustration. Yung 25 feet dito, that is the hypotenuse. Yung 10 dito, that is the shorter leg. And then, yung longer leg ang ating isosolve ngayon. So, we have here C for 25. Yung 10 natin ay A. Then, yung missing dito, that is your B. So, let us use yung Pythagorean Theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Substitution, we will have now 25 squared is equal to 10 squared plus B squared. 25 squared is 625. Ang 10 squared is 100. Just copy plus B squared. Yung 100 transpose natin beside 625. Pag nag-transpose, palaging tandaan magbabago ng sign. So we will have now 625 minus 100 is equal to B squared. Subtract natin itong dalawa. So we will have now 525 is equal to B squared. So para ma-solve natin yung B, kailangan natin itong kuhanan ng square root. So pag nag-square root tayo dito sa right side, ganun din sa left side. So we will have now the square root of 525 is equal to the square root of B squared. So yung B squared dito ay pwede na natin siyang i-cancel kasi divisible siya sa index na to which is 2. So cancel ang squared at yung radical side. Yung 525 is not a perfect square. Therefore, hanapan natin siya ng factors wherein one factor is perfect square. So let's have here 25 and 21. So ang 25 dito ay perfect square. So pwede natin itong i-simplify. So square root ng 25 is 5. Therefore, we will have now 5 square root of 21. That is equal to B. So that is the height ng building na marireach ng ladder.
Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!